Alright, boys and girls, and welcome to Girl on Guitar. We have Wishful Thinking. And Wishful Thinking is a great theme here from Gracie Abrams. Why? Because this is Wish Wednesday, alright? So you wish for songs, and this one we had Wishful Thinking from Fiyoko. You wish for Gracie Abrams, Wishful Thinking. So hope you will enjoy this, and all you Abrams fans. There are many out there, I'm aware of that, so let's take a look at this song. So we're going clean here, no need for any cape on this one, and we have pretty simple chords to handle. So let's dive right into the chords. We have first the E minor, and we're gonna do that with an added note because we want to highlight that. So it goes open E, second A, second D, open G, third B, all right? And open E. This third B will be highlighted in the verse, okay? So when you play that E minor in the pre-chorus and chorus later, you don't have to have that, it will be open. But for the verse, you have the third fret B string added. Next chord will be C. And that is third on A, second on D, open G, first B, and open E. We have G next, and we have a highlighted note here as well. So usually we go with this G chord like this. So that is third on E, second on A, open D, open G, third B, and third E in the end there. But during the verse play, you take away both of these. You go open with B and open with E. You try to highlight here the open B string. So when you do the strummings, you're gonna try to stop at that B string. Try to avoid the E string if you can. So that is only on the verse play. And then we also have the D, and that is standard. It goes open D, second G, third B, and second E. All right, so for this song, we have two different strumming patterns. One covers the verse and pre-chorus, and the second one covers the chorus. So we're gonna start with the verse, and we're gonna start with the first strumming. It goes over two chords. We have two different parts. So E minor will be played for part one, and then C for part two, and then the final chord G will be played for one full. That means part one and part two together. So let's look at the strumming. We're gonna start with E minor, and remember we had this added note here, the third fret B string for the E minor chord in the verse play. So it goes like this. Okay, so it's a total of 7 downs. So like that. And you wanna divide this into bass strings and the higher strings down here. So what you do here, you're gonna play the first 2 downs on the bass, then third down, you go down and try to highlight the third fret B string, and then on the 4th and 5 down, you play on the bass strings, then on the 6th down, you play the higher, and on the 7th, you go back to the bass. So 7 downs in total. Number 3 and number 6, you want to play on the high strings, high notes. All other downs you play on the bass. The 1st, the 2nd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 7th. So like this slowly. That is part 1 in tempo. Then you switch chord to C. All right, now you're gonna play like this. Okay, so that's a total of 9 downs. You had the same technical pattern here, you can say, but a different downs. Now you're gonna start with the high string on the down. So the first down is the higher string. Then you play 2 downs on the bass. Then on the 4th down, you play a high again. Then you play 3 downs on the bass. And on the 8th down, you go on the high. and on the ninth you go on the bass. And this is too much info to take in and to try to count and remember. This is, when you learn it, it will be by feel, okay? So this is just a way for me to explain, to get the real sound here for the playing. And once you learn it, you just go with it. You don't count downs and ups and downs where on the strings you play on top or bass. You just go with it. So that was part 2. Again, to repeat that one, you start now the first down on part 2 on the high strings, then 2 downs on the bass, then 4th down on the high, then 3 downs on bass, then high on the 8th, and bass on 9. And that's it. So to put this together, we can look at the transition now from the E minor to C in a slow tempo, and it goes like this. And then you play the G one full round, which means part 1 and part 2. And now you had this G only. You try to emphasize the open B string, so only these 2 fingers. And you're gonna play one full round like this. And that is 1 chord progression round. You're gonna play it for 2 rounds. So 1 round in slow tempo, and then I'm gonna speed up the second round in standard tempo. So there you have it, the verse. All right, next part is the pre-chorus. You're gonna follow the same principle here when it comes to the strumming, now different chord progression. You're gonna play C part 1, then D part 2, then E minor part 1, and G part 2. Remember now, we don't have any special notes to highlight, we just go with the standard chords. So C, D, E minor, G. You can use this full G now if you want to. That's the first half of it. Then you play C part 1, D part 2, and E minor part 1 plus 1 extra down and the pause. So that will be the pre-chorus. So again, C part 1, D part 2, E minor part 1, G part 2, C part 1, D part 2, and E minor part 1 plus 1 down and a pause, and that pause builds up for the chorus. Let's do this together. That's how it goes in tempo. Only 1 round of this, and that is the pre-chorus. Over now to chorus. And remember, we had a different strumming pattern now. This is actually easier, all right? So it's a little bit straightforward, this strumming pattern, and it's used for chorus only. You're gonna play the G as the first chord, and still no need for any notes highlighted. That is only in the verse. So still this full G. And 1 string around will be about 8 downs. You can do 8 downs just without anything else added to it. And if you do that, then you want to highlight the 5th down. You do that in the same way as you played in the previous strumming pattern there. You play that 5th down on the higher strings, all the other downs on the bass. So 8 downs in total. It goes like this slowly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you want to highlight more of the beat in the song, then you replace that 5th down with a clap instead. It goes like this. All right, you're gonna play G 1 round, C 1 round, E minor 1 round, D 1 round. then E minor 1 round, C 1 round, and D 2 rounds. So 1 round per chord, strumming around, and G, C, E minor D, E minor C, and then the final D you play for 2 rounds. That is one chord progression, all that you're gonna play for 2 rounds. So it goes like this. And now with the clap. So you can go either strumming all 8 downs with the highlighted 5th down on the high strings, or with the clap, the beat. So you do that for 2 rounds, and from now on there are no news. The second round of everything is exactly played in the same way. Second verse, second pre-chorus, and second chorus plays in the same way as the previous ones. So after you play the second chorus, we are now in the outro part, just the final half minute or so. What you do there is to play 2 rounds of the verse play. So E minor, C, and G. In the same way as you play the verse, that is the outro, and that is how Gracie Abrams' Wishful Thinking ends. So yeah, very soothing name on the song, Wishful, since it's Wish Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed this, Fiocco, and all you Gracie Abrams fans. And if you did, feel free to support me. I really appreciate all I can get from you guys. I work a lot here to make you happy, so give me a like back or subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. Till next time, play tuned.